random questions as a diabetic. Now, I've had this written down for a little while now. If I ever did it, honestly, obviously now's that time. So, I have 4 simple little questions written down. If you happen to have any, feel free to leave them in the comments. Maybe we'll do a part 2. So, I hope that you are comfy cozy. I'm telling you, for this time of year, especially when it gets cold, blanket hoodie, or hoodie blanket, however you want to word it, you definitely need one. Amazon. I got this for Christmas. When it was really cold recently, like I think last week, I lived in this basically. It's a lifesaver. So, anyway, let's go ahead and dive into this. So, first and foremost, I am type 1. So, number 1, what devices do you use? Now, I had to use these little mics again because my Blue Yeti was giving me issues. So, try my best here. This is my meter. This is what it looks like inside. You got this little pouch here. There's a little see-through zipper pouch. Finger prick. Test strips. I could not think of the word for a minute. And obviously the meter. Obviously, like, the shape of this has definitely changed over the years. So, who knows what's next? If any. So, this is what I use. I check myself 4 times a day. Sometimes 5, depending on if I'm low at a certain point. And yeah, I don't know, really. My blood sugars can range from anywhere maybe to like the low 200s to hundreds to maybe like 40 something. They definitely, you can tell, fluctuate. It's a struggle, but your girl is trying. And it's crazy to think that this year will be 25 years that I've had it. Because it doesn't feel like it. It feels longer, somehow. So, yeah, this is what I use. A One Touch Ultra 2. I tried to get it close up. I didn't know. Okay, there we go. But yeah, at least 4, 5 times. Like I said, it just depends. Number 2, common myth about diabetes that bothers you. Now listen, We could probably be here all day. Okay, but just to keep it short, it probably starts at eating sweets. Now, nowhere does it say, that we can't. You just gotta kind of do it in moderation, if that makes sense. I mean, now I get a sweet tooth every now and again. I don't always go for that sugar-free stuff, because I'm not gonna lie. If you know that you know this, some of that sugar-free stuff is not the same. It's just not. Especially some of the candy. I probably always prefer just the regular candy. Plus, I mean, it is what I use to bring my blood sugar up if I'm low. Okay, because in here, this drawer right here from my nightstand, I keep a Ziploc bag, freezer bag, one of the kind of like the big ones of gummy bears. So if I wake up at a certain point after I get up for breakfast, because I mean, I don't want to always walk out to the kitchen or something and get something, so I'll make it a little easier for myself and just open this up and take them out. So I always have gummy bears, gummy worms, something in here, just in case. You can never be too careful, of course. Now, again, do I eat this stuff all the time? No. But, again, every now and again, like I said, you just kind of watch, Number 3 piece of advice you give someone newly diagnosed. So, if maybe you yourself, someone you know, neighbor, coworker, family, friend, someone that you might happen to know, or again yourself, if this is you, I mean, after, again, like 24, we're going on 25 this year, like I said, with it, you can't let this bring you down. Because trust me, there's gonna be days where you've had enough. I'm not gonna lie, you are literally exhausted. At some point you will get tired of pricking your fingers. If you have the bump, probably not. Maybe. I mean, I'm pretty sure people with the bump do though. Or I think if you have one of those sensors, I don't think that requires you to. But you're probably gonna be exhausted. You're probably gonna be like me and wake up each day praying to God that someone out there is one step closer to finding a cure. If you're someone like me, now I've had multiple issues with this, unfortunately, that basically started in 2009. Why, I couldn't really tell you. And again, it's exhausting, especially when you're in school, when you're diagnosed, first diagnosed. Again, I was in the 5th grade. The BS I pretty much had to go through each school year, you know, when you have to make sure that everyone knows, just in case, it's exhausting. Like 0 out of 10 recommend this. I mean, granted, unfortunately, I couldn't really side pass it. It's genetics. Kind of from my dad's side. His mom had it. But yeah, you can't let this bring you down. You definitely have to take care of yourself, of course. Make sure those blood sugars are stable. But yeah. Number 4. Typical day look like. What a typical, if I can talk, day looks like. So for me, let me go through just a little bit of my routine. So I get up about 6:30 for breakfast. Now, I don't have to, but that's the time that I kept, after being in school. And I simply go to bed after. Go back to bed rather. I set my alarm for 6:20. Okay, go and grab this. My shots. Check the blood sugar. Take the meds if I need it. Make something, which for me, if I could skip breakfast, at least breakfast, that would be great. Because I don't know, I'm not always hungry that early, But obviously, again, have to. So I usually kind of try to keep it just simple. Cereal, a breakfast bowl or sandwich, one of the Jimmy Dean ones. Something like that, or waffles sometimes. Again, go back to bed. I'll wake up about 11:30ish, Pretty much that's where the day starts. If I feel low, again, I'll grab this. Depending on what it is, go in here and grab the gummy bears. Sit there for a little bit, eating them until I feel okay. Wait about 15 minutes. Go back in with this. Make sure it's okay. Which usually it is. Then about maybe 12 o'clock or so, sometimes 12:30, I try not to go too late with eating lunch. Again, eat lunch. About 4, I try to wait about 4:30 or so, sometimes 5, it depends on how hungry I am for dinner, Now, dinner time is one of the times where I will kind of struggle with the blood sugars. Now, they won't be crazy high, but I mean, we'll talk maybe sometimes at the lower 200s sometimes, That's one area I would just, I need to, of course, we're working on, Found a new doctor here, so hopefully, we can get to that point. And then, later on, sometimes I'll have a snack, usually maybe a sandwich or just some chips. It depends. And then I'll go to bed now I'm a night owl. Okay? I don't know if it's, I would say I don't know if it's the ASMR artist in me, but I was a night owl before I started this. this is one of the diseases, I wish I never got, but if there's a positive thing to all of this, it's that I'm still here. It's that my sister found me early that morning, August 26th of 2001 to be exact. I don't remember a thing. And from what I was told that happened, I'm kind of glad that I don't. I just hate that everyone else knows, if that makes sense. But yeah, like I said, I'm still here. I got to make it to my 30s. Even though I know I look younger, trust me, if you're thinking it too. I know. I'm not mad at it though. But yeah, that I'm here still making content for you guys that I hope you enjoy no matter how random it is. And I hope to continue this for many, many, many more years. We grow together. So, again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. Maybe we'll do a part 2 at some point. And if you're someone who has lived with this, maybe again, the recently diagnosed thing, you got this. Again, you're gonna have your good days, and you're definitely gonna have bad days. But, it gets better. Even if it kind of somewhat feels like it doesn't. So I hope you guys enjoyed this.